I feel like this one's gonna be extra subjective. Just because it's like, yeah. It's just which ones do I like to listen to more? There's no, you'll see, there's no, like, yeet it. Because I don't, with the Dark Souls 1 through 3, I don't have any tracks that I would yeet. I really don't. I have ones that I don't really listen to. We're gonna start this, and it's one of these things where it's like, it goes hard from the start. So let's just click start. What day's next? We have no day. Hey, happy early birthday to you too, Thistle. I don't celebrate my birthday. That's why we had a big unbirthday to celebrate everybody. Okay. Let me know if the level's too low. Marley's back online. We're so back. Hey, Sycomags! We just got started. This is our first track. Let me know if it's too low. I think it's a good level for you guys based on what OBS is saying, but let me know if it gets too quiet. This is a pretty intense track. This is one of my favorite tracks on all of the Dark Souls 3 fucking soundtrack, and it is the start menu music. I think this track better than any other Souls game, or yeah, we'll just say general Souls type game. Maybe 10% more. Yeah, it's very cool. Cool with that. We're doing Dark Souls 3, and then we're gonna do Bloodborne. This track is... It's just called Dark Souls 3. That's why it says main screen. It doesn't have a title other than Dark Souls 3. This track goes so hard. Yeah. This track, Transitory Lands. Oh, I forget that one. I think this track better than any other Souls game. And that includes, so we're talking Dark Souls, we're talking Bloodborne, we're talking Sekiro and Demon Souls and Elden Ring. So like that grouping of FromSoft games. I'm not going to bring in their other stuff. I'm not going to argue about their other stuff. Oh, it's that song. I know that. I know exactly which one you mean. I know exactly which one you mean. I just can't conjure it up because I have it on my PS4. I just turned it down for just a second so I could hear myself think. Turning it back up. Oh, yeah, no, the B here, this is just for us to talk about it. It's not staying at B. So, I keep starting this thought and not finishing it. Better than any other Souls game. To be honest, I haven't gotten to Godfrey's proper fight, so I don't know what the music's like. So, I can't speak to that. I haven't gotten to the proper... I know there's going to be a proper fight with him. I got to, like, the weird spirit fight or whatever, but I haven't gotten to the proper fight, and I know there's going to be a proper one. I can sense it. Because I never finished Elden Ring. I got to, like, the last little chunk, and I never beat it. This start screen music. I'm gonna finish this. I'm not even gonna look at chat. I'm gonna finish this thought. This start screen music better than any other fucking Souls start screen music. Pumps you up for what you are about to experience. It absolutely, it is hands down the best menu music. I will take no questions. Don't at me. It's so good. It is S tier for me. This song is S tier for me. It's so powerful. And for those that don't know, Yuka Kitamura, Yuka Kitamura, who is the lead composer on this one and has done a bunch of compositions for other games. She's a violinist. So when I really hear the strings coming through, I'm like, the soul of Miss Kitamura is coming through this track. That's right. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. No, Bloodborne is best start music. You will have to drive. You will have to drive for the SmackDown because Bloodborne to me is maybe second. Maybe second. I would give it second, please. This for me, as far as like what you have already experienced and what you will experience, it just lays it out. Whereas Bloodborne's just kind of setting a very quiet, low key, like you don't know what you're really about to get into. This song lets you know. They let you know right up front what you're about to get into. And I do adore this track. Okay, I think it is about to move into the next one. So we'll let it do its thing. I talked for the whole track. We'll let it do its thing. But yeah, for me, it's S tier. For me, it's S tier. Oh, so good. So good. Oh, hang on. Are my captions not working? That's what happens. That's what happens when I start them early. Sometimes they reset. Premonition. Okay, so this is okay, this is gonna be one of those things where it's like, this is the opening cutscene music that I never fucking listen to. It's not bad, but I don't listen to it. I skip it because I'd rather go listen to something else. I would much rather listen to something else. I will give up the spots as best of the... I don't know if I can do that, because I don't know if that's... I don't know that I feel that way about his music, to be honest. The fight? Yes, fucking S tier. But music, I can't decide. I'm gonna have to... We'll have to see when we get there. We're gonna have to see when we get there. Big fat meh. Yeah, this is a big fat meh. So we're just gonna... We're gonna move on. Here's the moment where it's gonna start being like, oh, that all the lords of Cinder. It's like, moving on. Hey, prologue, come on, let's go. Yeah, prologue's also, is prologue, what does prologue play? Is it also in the intro, or is it when you're like walking up? Fuck, when does this play? Is this character creation music, maybe? I've already forgotten. It's alright. Hey, Service Tenshi! I love Gundyr. Gundyr is great. No, this is Gundyr. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Yeah, I like this fine. And it is one that I would probably let play at least some of the time. So we'll put it in C. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, face, well, you know. Do you prefer Udex Gundyr or do you prefer Champion Gundyr? That's the question. That is the question. I like them both. It's hard for me to pick between them. Okay, is it about to switch? No, it's not. Here we go. Firelink time. Let's listen to the Firelink music that I do like. Udex is better. I think so. I like them for different reasons. I have this weird soft spot for Champion just because it was like one of the fights that I ended up helping other people with a lot. And I'm like really bad at parrying in Souls games. And it was like one of the only bosses I could figure out how to the timing on. I also had a really hilarious moment that I think is in a YouTube compilation somewhere on my channel, an old one, where like he got me right on the end of his like spear, his pokey bit, and sent me flying off into the abyss. It was hysterical. Like him theme-wise, he's a fallen champion. Yes, very much. Very much so. He's the one that's, you know, he's your tutorial fight. He's held in place by a literal bonfire sword. Like, some of the absolute garbage. They are so damn slow. So, I found them the easiest to conquer out of the bunch, but I just prefer backstabs. I prefer a backstab. Maybe it's my roguish nature. But I prefer a good backstab, you know? Passive man stuff. Yeah, Yeah, it's weird. They introduced the whole Puffs of Man thing, but then they didn't actually go anywhere with it. It was just like, oh, this is a thing. Question mark. So let's talk about Firelink. I like this track a lot. It's not my favorite, though. It's a lot more melancholy than the original Firelinks. Like, I don't find it as... It's got the very beginning part here, there's a kind of comforting bit to it, and then it just kind of becomes sad. Hello, Fox! Hello, thank you for stopping by. I got really good at Bloodborne Parry. So that, we'll see that. So the riposte, how are you supposed to say it? I always forget. That I could do. But I never thought of that as a parry. I thought of that as a completely different thing. Because instead of it being like a, no, I push your weapon away, it was I stop you because I stagger you kind of thing. Thank you for the unfurling. I'm trying to make sure I'm keeping my shoulders back. Thank you. I do like this track a lot. But I don't know if I want to put it above B. Hell yeah, let's go. Thank you so much, Fox. I appreciate it. It's time. Speaking of Yudix Gundyr. Now, this one was not done by Miss Kitamura. This one was done by Tsukasa Saito, who became involved during Bloodborne. Actually, he did some of the tracks for Bloodborne. I love this track. This is a good fucking track. Multiple times without getting touched. It was nuts. Yep, you can totally do it if you gotta go sleep. Have a good night. Sorry, somehow I missed that one, but I saw the other one. Have a good night, Fox. Oh, it's so good. We're putting this in A immediately. I have a soft spot for it, so I almost want to put it in S, but I know there's going to be other ones I want to put in S, so let's keep it in A. Let's keep it high A for now. It's so good! I also, can I just say... Okay, I'm just turning it down just a hair so I can think. Can I just say, I really appreciated having a tutorial boss that it was like... Not a monster. Kinda is, because Puffs of Man, but it was a much different... It's definitely my favorite tutorial boss. I bet you were freaking out the whole time. I would have. I freaked out beating her the first time, just period, because I didn't think I could do it. And I kind of blew past her way more easily, but I think it was because I got into the music. I think I talked about this a little bit previously. Leaning into the music really helps me zen out and beat my head against bosses if they give me trouble when I'm soloing them. So, yeah. Which is, we talked about this, so like, especially in Dark Souls 3, the fight is very much tied into the way that the character is going to move, the boss is going to move and come at you. And that's part of why the dancer is so difficult, because the dancer does not move to their music. They have the way they move, the fluid way they move is completely different from what the pacing of the music that it's telling you. It's telling you these things and you're like, huh? Huh? Wait, no. Although, as we learned, if you were last week when we fucking played Dark Souls 3 in the morning, I blew through 4 different bosses, including the dancer. Apparently, the dancer's weakness is black flame orb or whatever it's called. Who knew? I just kept my distance and spammed. I've never been able to do that with anything. All right, Udix, you get to be A. You get to be A. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We love it. It's time for the next. Oh, it's time for Vort. This one was done by Mr. Sakuraba, who was the composer for Dark Souls 1, and I think he was still lead on 2. He and Kitamura kind of split the duties on 2. He did not give any tracks for Bloodborne. But he gave a couple for Dark Souls 3. I like Vort's music. I can't decide. Maybe high A? I am more likely to put on Vort than Firelink. Straight up. No worries. Take your time.
Take your time, Teruki. Thank you again for the raid. I didn't give you a proper shout out. Oh my god. My manners.
I went to do it and then I got distracted.
Don't forget, Teruki plays a lot of horror. Just on a Star Wars kick right now because Jedi Survivor's out.
Yeah, I like this one. I like this track. We're gonna let it play just because it does break down and change when he gets to phase 2 and becomes a completely different thing. I also just love Vort kind of introducing this sense of, oh, the dudes in armor we're encountering are not necessarily all entirely together anymore. He's literally a beast on his hands and knees, like, coming at you. Seems like a thing that happens a lot with the Pontiff's servants, I would say.
He's a big burly guy. He's the big...
I always think of Vort as like the big thick-thighed guy. It's like, I gotta just bite his thigh to take him out. That fucking mace. Woo! And he definitely personifies the whole fucking, it's Dark Souls, just get in their crotch, you know, kind of, thinking with boss fights. He definitely personifies that, because if you give him too much space, he will take you out. But if you can get right in there and roll properly, you'll be good. You can tell... Honestly, in hindsight, you can kind of tell this is a Sakuraba track because it immediately went into the horn section, go stuff. So you know it's not Kitamura anymore. Oh, Sakuraba. I don't mean it as a like a thing against him. It's like you can just always kind of tell, which is why part of why I like tracks like King Vendrick from Dark Souls 2 so much. You can't tell it's him. Same, he did Fume Knight. You can't tell that it's him. It's so different, and I love it. All right, we're gonna move on to the next.
We're moving on to the next. Very good, Vort. Very good. We're moving on to...
Curse Rotted Great Wood. I'm not a fan of this track. I like the energy that it's bringing. It's like, oh, cursed tree, ooh, oh gosh, what we gonna do? But yeah, I really like the beginning, but then it kind of just becomes forgetful. I forget it. Forgettable is what I'm going for. Like after the intro, the spooky intro, it just kind of becomes kind of like, oh, it's fine. I don't hate it. I don't think it's like a really bad track. I just think it's a weaker track. And straight up, I don't like when I have a limited space on my incredibly limited little card on my player, I don't listen to it. But I am more likely to listen to it than fucking Premonition, that's for sure. More could have happened with the tree. Honestly, I feel like the tree... They put so much emphasis on the, oh my gosh, he broke through the environment. Whoa! They put so much was writing on that they maybe forgot to add more. It's like, nobody remembers it as the one that you fall through the floor. Everybody remembers it as, oh yeah, the one that I have to like break the weird like egg sacks. Silent Hill tracks. Oh dear God, a Silent Hill. How would I even? The tree housing curses. I know, like they could have done so much more with it. It's unfortunate, but I don't really listen to it. I don't hate it, but I don't listen to it. Which, as a reminder, D is not D for like it's bad. D is literally D for don't listen. I never listen to it. If we were to come across a track that I was like, get the fuck off, get out, I hate you, I would create an F tier. But I don't have an F tier on here. Let's move on to Crystal Sages, shall we? Let's move on to Crystal Sages. God, trying to do Silent Hill tracks. That would be hard. That'd be hard. I feel like they'd all be S and A with like a tiny handful down in the bottom just because it's like, I always skip these because no thank you. Like the thing inside could have maybe fully come out. That would have been interesting. Or like when you break, I mean, maybe it seems silly, but like maybe when you broke some of the like weird egg sac things, maybe like almost like the affinity spell slash, what's it called? Why am I blanking? It's where little humanity friends come out. What if like they suddenly burst out and they like chased you and you had to be careful not to get hit by them, you know? Someone being often but in deal, they're all amazing. Yeah, so many of the tracks are just so good. Would be interesting to like just sit down and maybe just talk about like the vibe of each soundtrack. Cause one is so like weirdly industrial compared to the other ones, right? Oh, Crystal Sages. Sorry, I forgot to even bring you up here. Gonna just real quick. That's an easy one. It would be, yeah, right? I mean, I think we could have like a real strong convo about those soundtracks and how they make people feel. I have nothing against the Crystal Sages fight. I actually like it just fine. This music, this part is okay. Like the middle is okay. Unlike the Chris Ryder Greatwood where the beginning is okay. Like, this part is like, oh yeah, it's kind of neat. Woo-hoo-hoo. By the way, Vort, Greatwood, Crystal Sages, all Sakuraba tracks. You can kind of tell. You can kind of tell. I'm going to say something really controversial later when one of his other tracks comes up, and people are probably going to hate me, but that's okay. I had the balls to put Royal Rat Authority's music above Belfry Gargoyles, and I will continue with my heresy. Yeah, we're just going to continue on to Deacons of the Deep, which was done by Nobuyoshi Suzuki, who I believe also gave tracks to Bloodborne. We'll be coming back to him and Mr. Saito later. Deacons? Deacons ain't bad. Deacons ain't bad. I'd be willing to at least give it an A. Like, I don't jump up and down and try to put it on, but really it's pretty good. Let me just put it here while we're talking about it. That or I couldn't put it lower than high B, honestly. And it would definitely be above Vort if I put it in B, but I feel like good theme for mediocre boss. Yep. I mean, I feel like the Deacons are kind of brilliant because they really do hype you up for like, okay, so we're gonna take out this gross Aldrich dude. Okay, all right, waiting for Big Ooze Man. Got it? And then you go in there and you're like, who? What? Is this just phase 1? What's going on? And then no. Fuck you. He ain't here. And by the time you find him, he's literally eating a god. Like oh, I can't decide. Should we give him A or high B? Should he become king of B tier? Deacons. Also a better mob boss, to be honest. You know, honestly, as far as like a mob boss goes, Deacons is pretty good in the sense that they can get you. I have been done in by the Deacons. I've fucked up and gotten myself stun locked. It's not difficult to do. Also, just rolling too much and thinking you can get away from the projectiles, like, you have to pay attention. Like, it's not a complete pushover, necessarily, unless you and a friend go in with 2 absolutely massive swords, then maybe. Maybe. Especially second half with the curse. Yeah, exactly. I'm willing to give him King of B with the idea that he might move up to A for Deacons. We'll see how the other tracks go. If I feel like B gets crowded, we'll move Deacons up. Because it's not a bad track. I just don't always think of it, you know? Alright, one of my favorite skeleton bosses, even though he arguably is maybe a pushover, once you know how he works. Hi, Lord Wolnir. What a cool boss. What a cool boss. And also, what a great opportunity for nope gifts. I just love that they basically just handed it to us on a silver platter. They were like, would you like to make nope gifts with this? We have a boss fight for you. Guy literally coughs lung cancer on you. I mean, basically. I also love the lore of this guy who is just so absolutely terrified to be stuck in and become what he does become, you know? And that he clutches to his bling because it's the only thing that could save him, and you break his fucking bling and he's like, no! He gets sucked into the abyss. Nope. And then he, literally gets dragged off screaming. It's this incredibly, like, intense metal moment that gets kind of, like, missed sometimes by people. I'm like, no, that giant skeleton dude just got dragged into the abyss screaming. The abyss is no joke. It's kind of almost, could you argue that it's like an opposite of Four Kings? Like the Four Kings embraced the abyss and became what they were. Wolnir feared, wanted the power but feared being drug off, and that is what happens to him. His music is a bit forgettable though. I'm gonna put him in high C here. Said the abyss is sort of in the background in 3. It is, like, it plays kind of an important framing role, especially when you have that moment where you're in the old Firelink and you're like, wait, this is a when am I, not a where am I situation. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like they could have done more. But I feel like there was a lot of little things they could have done more with had they probably, I'm sure there's a whole being forced to get 3 out the door story out there. Deep is more like an evolved form of it. Yeah, right? It's supposed to be like, because the dregs, right, are supposed to be kind of like humanity, but they're like ooier, gooier versions of it. Yeah, I'm gonna, yeah, his music is just kind of forgettable, even though the boss fight is totally unforgettable. Alright, here we go. Alright. Also, Wolnir was done by Sakuraba. I'm bringing this up because while I adore Sakuraba's work on 1 and 2, I find his work in 3 pretty lackluster. Mostly. I have at least one exception. It's time. Miss Kitamura's back. With, for me, so here we go. Pontiff Sullivan. Easy S tier. This song. Let me turn it up. It starts out kind of quiet. Abyss is supposedly ocean-based. That would make sense. To me, anyway. Pontiff is the big bad and we kill him halfway. I find that very interesting as well. That the Pontiff has been pulling so many strings, and you find the echoes of those strings throughout the game, and yet he's the halfway mark boss. Awesome fight. Love the stand. Music is impeccable. Even in death, his influence is great. Yep. He morphed the world. Very much so. Here it comes. Can't see me like waving my thing of water around like a orchestra conductor, but that's what I'm doing. I always get hyped to fight Pontiff, simply because I know I'm gonna hear this music. It doesn't matter how good or bad I do against him, I'm like, at least I get to hear the cool music! I know he's a pushover for people that are good at parrying, but like I said, I'm not good at parrying, so he whoops me. Yes, I have noticed that. I have noticed he's got like, is it like, but I feel like, I don't know if I paid attention to it in the same way I might another character. Parry this, casual! That's basically Bloodborne. Honestly, that's how the riposte system works. You shoot them to make them stagger. That's what the guns are for. This song is so good. I could listen to it on repeat several times and not. I think I'm always just so focused on rolling around that if I don't get right in there and really listen, I don't hear it. Makes sense though. I remember digging into his lore and being very interested in what was going on because he was just a sorcerer, right? And isn't the idea that maybe he came from the painting? It's, I don't know. He does become a big bad and is not necessarily doing good things, but isn't necessarily doing bad things either. He's just morphing the world in the image that he prefers. So, you know, it's a hard call. He becomes a bad something and appointed himself. Yeah, like he came from kind of like very strange roots and declared himself power. So anyway, obviously we're listening to his track choice, so this OST plays them back to back, so they double up for us. Yeah, easy S tier. Not sure if it trumps the main opening, but I do fucking love it a lot, and I do find his character interesting. I don't know if I like his character, but I find it very interesting. He's a very fascinating character who potentially could have been a much more sympathetic character had his life gone a different way, you know? But, you know, I kind of have to hold a grudge against anyone who feeds, like, my favorite god to fucking Aldrich. Like, I kind of gotta hold it against you, too. Little bit. Although it's very metal that you did that. Oh, and we're about to get into another really good one. All right. We're gonna let this play. We're gonna let this play because the next one and the one after are all Miss Kitamura tracks. I have such a soft spot for Miss Kitamura's compositions. I think her stuff is just leaps and bounds above some of the things that were floating around before she came along. It's dancer time, baby. It's dancer time. Speaking of easy S tiers. Move over. Nope. All of you. Come here. No, you gotta move over. Top of S tier for me. Dancer does have cake, yes. Many dancers do. When you dance, you tend to put some muscle tone in that area. I love the dancer. I love the fight. I love their design. I love that the dancer of all characters does not move to their own music in a predictable way. That's just so cool. That's just so cool. And absolutely, I fucking bought the armor the first time it came, like, immediately. I was like, give me that fucking veil. I'm gonna be floaty everywhere. Give it to me. I have not done a run with her swords, though. I would like to do that someday. That would be cool. Maybe that should be my next Dark Souls 3 goal in the future. I'm not gonna want to play it again after I finish my Pyro run, just yet. But I might want to do that. Also done dirty. Absolutely. All of the Pontiff's Knights done super dirty, and Dancer in particular. Like, done so dirty by what the Pontiff was doing. Like, ugh. She's so cool though. And it is very cool how her swords do mirror the pontiffs, right? You've got one of fire and one of dark, essentially. The dancer is so cool. They are such a cool character. Definitely one of my favorites in the whole goddamn thing. Definitely one of my faves in the whole goddamn thing. Yeah. So good. So good. I feel like their music also really well... You know how like some bosses, their music in particular really reflects who they are? Dancers is just A+ on like using music to tell the story. This person has been through a lot. All right. Is it time? It's time. Dragon Slayer Alma. Dragon Slayer Alma. I like this fight, and I like this music. I feel like this is an A track for me. I think it gets forgotten amidst some of the others. But it's really strong. Or at least I think it's really strong. I think this is a Sakuraba track, actually. Oh, no. This one is Kitamura. This one's Kitamura. The next one is Sakuraba. This is still Miss Kitamura. I feel like this is like Kitamura doing a Sakuraba track. Does that make sense? And she does it... Okay, I'm gonna be mean and say she might do it better than him. I'm not gonna lie. Just gonna say it. But I am partial. I am partial. Yeah, Dragon Slayer armor just kind of gets forgotten. But it is fun. And it can kick your butt. I mean, I got... Even with someone coming in to help me, I got flattened like 3 times. Because when you're as squishy as I am as a pyromancer, going full pyro... It takes one good swing and you're done. Even embered up. I have like 16 vigor. I have like nothing. Yes, and he's also cool because he's not an Ornstein. He's his own thing. It's just the armor ? It's possessed. It's unclear. But I like having kind of like this sense of homage to the Dragon Slayers while not just doing Ornstein again, right? There is a person. I think there's got to be a person in this one, right? There's a person in this one, but maybe the one in Ring City maybe is just a possessed. I don't know. Maybe that's where I'm getting that. Because there is another Dragon Slayer armor down in the swamp area of Ring City. Pilgrim butterflies are using it. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, no, the pilgrim butterflies are... God, fuck the pilgrim butterflies, dude. Fuck those things. They're very cool looking, but... Like, listen to how many layers this song has. For a boss that some people forget about. And it's actually really cool. Also, like, shout out to Smiley Face. That was literally their name, Smiley Face, who helped me get through that fight. Much appreciated. They came in every time. They did not deny me. They were like, yep, let's do this. It's okay. I can see you're squishy. Alright. We're moving to the next one, I think? We're moving to the next one? Or is it starting over? It might be playing again. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Next one. Next up. We're back to Sakuraba. And I apologize for not knowing where to put the intonation on his name. That's why I kind of just let it roll off the tongue. Old Demon King. Really obvious track by this guy. But I think it might be my favorite one that he did on here. We'll see as we go along. There might be another one. I actually like this one. Let me turn it up a little. It's very old. It's very Dark Souls 1. It's a very Dark Souls 1 feeling. The old Demon King. And I like this fight. I know I took way too many tries to get through it in my recent playthrough, but you know, when I'm a pyro and the boss is also a pyro, it makes it a little difficult, and you are relying on your meat shields quite a bit. There were no player characters offering to help, so I was relying on NPCs. But it's actually the only time I've ever had, what's their name, from the Great Swamp survive the whole fight. They managed to survive it, and I wasn't even trying to get them to survive it. I'm totally fine with this track. I like the fight probably more than I like the track. This part. Listen to this part and tell me it's not so Dark Souls 1. Oh, ho, ho. It's so Dark Souls 1. But I like it. I'm not gonna put it in C. It gets to be in B. It gets to be in B. I listen to this track sometimes. Alright, I like you, Old Demon King. Also, kudos to FromSoft for giving a demon a not, quote-unquote, not a hero character, hero's treatment. Recognizing that it is actually, that the loss of the demons is actually maybe kind of a sad thing. The demons are what they are, like, they can't help that, you know? And the fact that we're, like, taking out their last king, who it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of inferred of, like, you know, the demons are all dying off, and if we take their king, they're done for. And he has his whole moment, just like how Sif limps when you get her health down low. His fire goes out and he starts like, all he can do is just bat his little claw at you. He can't do shit. So yeah, I don't know. I have a soft spot for Old Demon King. Let's move to the next, however, because we're talking about a different kind of monster guy. Love the moral ambiguity of Dark Souls. Absolutely. It's not even clear that necessarily the demons were bad. They might have just been different, right? It's not clear, like, why are the demons actually bad other than, ooh, big scary. Did they actually cause problems? We're talking Osaros, the consumed king, which they're getting pushed up to A right away. What an odd fight that I did not expect to have in that game. We're kind of on the verge of potentially doing this fight too in our run right now. We've kind of hit the point in there's like, let's see. Yeah, okay, so some Cinderlord's tracks are coming up that we've passed, but we're kind of starting to get into the tracks that we haven't hit yet in my current playthrough. God, Osaros is kind of weird. But I like it. I like the music. The music is very nice. The Consumed King. He is censored, remember? Is he? So the current playthrough I'm doing is the first time I've, like, started the game from the beginning in, like, 5 or 6 years. So there are things that I've forgotten. Oh, they actually did originally have him holding one? I don't know if I knew that. I know, like, because obviously I thought it was always intended to just be that he was, like, he was just so consumed by this, like, desire to hang on to this child, to keep this child, that he continued to, like, grasp his arms in such a way as though they were still there. But originally he was actually supposed to be holding a baby. But then it became like, uh-oh, we're, like, beating up on this guy who's holding a baby. That might not go over well. So accidental pool lore happened. Amazing. Yeah, it was removed since he does pulverize said baby. Yeah, right? And then he's like, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? The whole time it's like, oh, dude, please. Ooh, too much. I think it was for the best. I think it's for the best they probably did that. Because I think it actually... I feel like it would have been maybe a shark jump for them. It might have been a step too far to actually have the baby. Given if the baby is like Priscilla, it would have invisibility. Right? Amazing time to arrive, as always. Hello! Hello, hello! Yeah, we're talking about Ossiros. How you doing, Arba? So I guess, I don't know, the way I remember, because I haven't done the fight yet, I am technically in a position that I could go back and do it. I just haven't done it yet. I always imagined that the baby, like, in a weird Dark Souls way, was purposefully trying to stay invisible? That they were invisible on purpose? And that he like, drops them, he loses them, freaks out, and then, like, baby was like, must keep self safe. I don't know. I had a weird, like, idea that the child was always there. I wasn't sure if it was actually a baby. The child was always there, but that they were in fact trying to stay away from him. Yeah, the baby. We were just talking about the baby. I need the soundbite from fucking Metroid Other M or whatever it is. The baby. The baby. Yeah, this is a good track. This is a really good track. I don't always think to put it on, but it's definitely A tier. That's Souls Town 2 when the baby dies. You know, I don't know if I ever noticed that. I might have been so focused I never noticed that. I'll have to pay attention when I fight him next. The baby could have been invisible because of things. Yeah. It hurts. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was a much better way to do it. Keep it ambiguous. Also, I don't see how they possibly could have flown that past the fucking sensors. even like, now we're going to try to plead our case. No. All right. I think. Let's see. Okay, the next track is coming, so we'll let it play through. It hurts. That is really sad. Is there a confirmation about the royal line being linked to Guinevere? I forget. I'm rusty on Dark Souls 3 lore. Real rusty. And the last time I delved into it was long enough ago that we probably like found ways to refute some of the stuff we thought was true. All right, y'all ready for Ancient Wyvern? I actually really like this track. Oh, I gotta decide where I'm gonna put it though. It's A tier for me. I already know it's A tier for me. I just don't know where in A tier I want to put it. And I like this fight. I know it can be frustrating, but I loved that they decided to throw in a fight that was like, no, this is... You're gonna do things a little differently, one way or another. Whichever way you choose to do it, it's going to be different. Gosh. Where do I put it? Such a good one. And I don't know, I kind of, like, while it is frustrating, I kind of like the challenge of literally having to go through an entire fucking level, essentially, to get to it. Delving into it too much because of things. Gwen did all his family so dirty that I was getting too icky to want to know. Yeah, we actually talked about this a bit last time, like, how much of this is Gwen actually, like, how a lot gets put on Gwen, right? And I still think he might be a somewhat more selfless character than people give him credit for. And being the Zeus guy, it's easy to make him the bad guy. I don't know. I'm not saying he was a good guy, like an A+, like Daddy, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of stuff gets pushed on him that it's like, you know, he's just the leader, and therefore, of course, he was the one calling the shots, but how about all the other gods? What were they fucking doing? They just fucking took off. I like Velka, partially for that reason, because no matter what, Velka's always around, and I will never forgive them for not putting Velka in the game. Yeah, Wyvern, I'm more likely to listen to than Oseros, but is maybe not as good as Dragon Slayer and Udic Skundir? I don't know. I like it a lot. Mean voice, I can't believe you've done this. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I think we get caught. I think there is a certain amount of us getting caught up in it's like, oh, how could Gwyn try to trick us into doing this? And it's like, I mean, some of y'all were along for the ride anyway. You were super eating up all the shit that Frampt was telling you. So, like, I wouldn't get so high at my like, yeah, but also, I don't know, y'all love the titties. Like, there's so many other, like, elements to it. Like, I don't know. There's so much going on with Gwyn. It's like, I don't think we can say that they were, like, just a horror, what a horror of a person. The thing I hold against Gwyn the most is the dragons. Like, the fact that that was the thing. It was like, murder them all. Just murder them all. We won't share the world with them. Murder. Genocide. Do it. That's what that's my big thing. And of course, you know, obviously Gwendolyn and some of the other kids do get, like, no attention, no love. But that's also not necessarily his fault. That may just be a thing with all of the gods giving the most attention to the firstborn, the two firstborns. So,
I heard titties. Yeah, Guinevere's titties.
I'm like, I don't know, I feel like, you know, even Guinevere left, so clearly she was kind of forging some kind of path. I feel like all the gods left because they were like, alright, we gotta figure something else out. Right? Fake titties. I know, they're fake. It's Nameless King time, and now everyone gets to be mad at me. Awkward smile. So this is a track by Motoi Sakuraba, who I have previously mentioned, obviously, is the guy who was lead on 1 and technically 2, even though Kitamura was brought on in 2 as well. I don't hate this song. I think it's fine. And on one hand, I think it's cool that they let Sakuraba take the firstborn song, right? Like, we finally get to meet this guy. However, I have a big however. Because of my preference for Kitamura's compositions and the depth of her work and how dynamic it tends to be, I really wish she had gotten to do this track. I cannot imagine what she would have come up with for it. So I accept this song, and I understand why they gave it to him. They wanted a Dark Souls 1 styled track for this guy. But man, I make sad face, cause God, what could Kitamura have done with this prompt? What she could have done with it? I don't think it's bad though. Like, I'm probably more likely I'm more likely to listen to this than Oseros. You know? Even though Oseros is a good track. So I'm willing to put this here. I don't know if I'm going to put it above Wyvern though. And that might just be me being petty. But what could have been? Yeah, it's kind of this thing of, I respect the choice because of the whole, like, this is a character we learned about way back when, and we're finally getting to encounter them for realsies. And technically it's completely, utterly optional. You never have to meet this guy. It hurts a lot also. Yeah. This fight, I love and hate that. I have such a love-hate relationship with this fight. No, don't shut up, Arma. Keep talking. It hurts a lot. Yeah, I wish Kitamura could have had a crack at this prompt. But I can respect their decision as to why they would want a particular feel for this guy. I get it. I just... I would love to hear her take on it. Like, if I had the ability to be like,
hey, could you get to, like, ask a celebrity to do one thing that you desire?
I'm gonna ask Yuka Kizumura to fucking do the Nameless King track. And yeah, this whole fight, like, we'll get to it eventually in my run. We haven't gotten the emote to get to the area yet, so. Okay. Time for me to shut up about the Nameless King and move on to Poochie Wolf Wolf Fan Club. Because this is also S tier, and I don't know... Am I gonna put it above Dancer? I think I'm gonna put it above Dancer. I fucking love this song, this fight. I love the concept of a quote-unquote Lord of Cinder that is not just one person. That is a literal legion of people. It's her singing for me, right? Yeah, the voice is so good in this one. And we are, you know, some of these we've listened all the way through just because I'm rambling. No, we are listening to this one all the way through, even if I'm quiet. This is going to be one of the tops of S tier for me, if not the top. It's going to be hard once we get down to the, like, some of the very next track, actually. The very next track is the only one that I might put above this, for sure. Yeah, let's just listen for a second. Opportunity to take a sippy. Everybody sippy. What a lore. What a couple of guys. What a story. Alvina, your hunters are still going all these years later, just in a totally new form. And I love that. I wish there was at least one little shout out to Big Kitty, because you get your really obvious, like, oh, that's a big wolf. But I wish there had been, like, I don't know, a hidden statue or something of, like, a big cat. That would have been cool. I don't know. I like Alvina a lot. I like Alvina, and actually it would have been cool if it were a very small statue, you know, like Shalquar size, but of Alvina. That would have been cute. Like, oh, it's a kitty! This song's so good. We haven't even gotten to the best part. It's coming. We're building to it. I did not know that Yuka had done some other songs for Dark Souls. I thought for sure she only did Elden... No, she was lead on Dark Souls 3. She was the lead composer. She headed up the whole thing, and they brought her on originally in 2. She did Alon's music? Yes, she did Sir Alon's music. She did a couple of tracks for 2, but that's for me, that's her like top track in 2. Yeah, I think Sakuraba was still lead on 2, but Kitsumura did almost as many tracks as he did. I feel like maybe I'm exaggerating. Is it not gonna play the part? It didn't even play the best part of that track. Oh, that's blasphemy. Hang on, guys. Hang on, guys. That's utter blasphemy. You didn't even play the best part of that song. Hang on. Please. Let's find it. Let's find it. Where are you? They didn't even play the best part. That's a weird version of that track. This feels like this is going to do the same thing and it's just going to cut off. Let's see. Let's see what it does. The Emperor will know about this. The total blasphemy, right? Yeah, no, Kitsumura is such a cool lady. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of respect for her. I feel like this is gonna do the same thing. Yeah. What? Where? What? I'm sorry. What is up? Wait, please? Please? I'm not like, I know I'm not bonkers. I know I'm not bonkers. Phase, okay, maybe we just need to pull up phase 2. For some reason that version doesn't have phase 2. I thought Ancient Wyvern seemed weird too. We should go back to that one. Edited for expletives. Yeah, no, this is the whole phase 2 is where it really gets good. We're gonna go back to Ancient Wyvern, by the way. You guys are gonna see why I have it so high in A, because I was like, was I just talking over the part that I liked, or... That seemed weird, too. How you doing, Riots? It's about, because right here is where it's supposed to start building towards like the best part. Bindler can say, of course. Dude, the phases in these games are so good. Here it comes. Turning it up. It gets better too. It's coming. Oh, it hits me every time. It's gonna do it again. That part gets me every time. And it's supposed to, yeah, it's supposed to come down very slowly. Okay, I don't trust the soundtrack anymore. We're gonna skip away from it and we're gonna start just pulling these up individually. How dare you? How dare you? And this is the point at which you can loop the song. Or the phase. Alright, here we go. We're gonna go back to Ancient Wyvern. Because I feel like that one got shit on as well. I feel like it did not get its full due. And people are probably looking at me like, wait, what? Why you call... Wait. Okay, hopefully this is the proper full version. So let's skip through the first part of it. And we're coming back. Where are you, Wyvern? Right here. Let's see if we can get your proper version.
Oh, come on now. Play, Daniel, play. Why you thinking so hard? Oh, this one. Oh no.
Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna leave this turned up. The good part is about to hit, and this is the part it cut out. Here it comes. Yeah, I'll move it to top of A tier. I fucking love the Wyvern music. Okay. Alright. I'm glad I sniffed that out before we got any further. Jeez, it's like we're like halfway through. Alright, especially for Yorm. Yorm is like the only track that I would put above Abyss Watchers for certain. Yeah, let's make sure we get the full version, if you please. Yeah, I'll just click on an extended version because then it should have all the parts in it, right? Been in a state of I love you, Yorm. You are top tier for me. In all ways. In all ways. You know what? I'm gonna turn it up on my end. This recording's a little quieter. I just learned that Sakuraba did some songs for Tales of Pantasia. Yes! I think Sakuraba was more well known, actually, for their work on other fantasy-type titles. One thing that I'm sure I've never heard is, oh, it hurts. It hurts. Yorm's entire deal just hurts me. Like, fucking... You want someone to point to and be like, completely, like... Let me know if the music gets too loud over my voice, but this recording sounds pretty quiet, so I've cranked it up. His whole story is just depressing. He did everything well, everything right. He looked after the people, and yet they still distrusted him. Just because he wasn't like them. Because he was a giant. Yorm was depressed, killed by his best friend. Yeah. Like, Yorm knew he knew he couldn't do it twice, right? And that's why he made Z-Word make that promise. Because at least then he'd be killed by someone he respected. Profane Lame was a big danger. Yeah. I just love Yorm's music so much. I always hate when it's time to face him. God. I would love a more official take on the connections between all the different types of giants in the Dark Souls series. Because in my mind, all the giants are valid. So, I do find it weird the Profane Blade was never elaborated. Yeah, never elaborated. And there was all these things they could have brought in, and instead they just kept tacking on more new stuff, and it was like, oh. Sorry, I was talking over one of the best parts. I love that part. Everything in three, yeah, everything's going to hell, right? So I can understand when there's some stuff that maybe doesn't get explained fully, because it's like, I don't know, this shit just this way, this now, you know, now. But there's so much, and yet it feels like okay, it's starting to loop, so I'm gonna turn it down. I feel like, so I think the moment that I got a little, they finally acknowledged the Dark Soul actually being a fucking thing. It's not just this concept, this like philosophical concept. It's like, no, it is a physical thing. It is a thing. I think it's disappointing because they do some cool things and they introduce some cool things, but they choose to leave some things completely in the dust, like leaving Velka still just as a fucking statue. Like, how? Oh, come on. You've had 3 games, and you don't even want to give me, like, a little teaser? You don't want to give me a little taster of one of the only, like, the only god that will survive all this, regardless of what happens. Lazy Mike, be lazy. Filianor, I do my best to accept Filianor. I do my best. I felt like that was such a cop-out. What a fucking cop-out. Like, I could accept Yorshka. Yorshka was fine. Filianor was like, wait, I'm sorry, there was another one? Oh, and we just never learned about her because she's been asleep. She's been Sleeping Beauty here the whole time. Fucking please, please, no, there was so much you could have done. There was so much you could have done in Ring City that would have been amazing. I get a little, when it's time for Ring City, I get very upset. I get really upset because it's like, there's lots of cool things in there, but there's just, it feels like so much unfulfilled potential as well. Because it was their last shot. And before they moved on to other Souls-like things, right? It's the last of the trilogy. Ring City was basically trash dump for 2. Right? I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. Like, it has such neat moments. But it also just feels mean for the sake of being mean instead of... Yeah, I don't know. It just never, the design of it never quite sat right with me. Like, Ariandel I can roll with even though it's pretty mean to you, honestly. It's pretty rough, but it's rough in a way I can accept because it's full of bullshit, right? It's a painting, so therefore it's full of bullshit. Feels like they rushed the connections. Yeah, it feels like they could have done all the way up to Dark Souls 6 and maybe wrapped it up, you know? Back can't sleep due to allergies. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Fox. I'm glad to have you here, but I'm sorry you can't sleep. Alright. I love you 2 pieces.
Autumn vibes. I gives you the autumn vibes. Woohoo.
Which I wish it was autumn. We haven't even hit summer yet, and I'm already dying.
Thank you.
If I'm being totally honest, I stumble into most of them just like tweaking a dial. All right, Yorm. I love you so much. I'm gonna fade you out here right at the end of your song. I'm gonna do it. We've been talking about you and rambling about Ring City. We ain't even got to Ring City. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Next up, though, we got to talk about Aldrich. Let me bring him up here to be so we can talk about him. Oh, Aldrich. Oh, Aldrich. Fucking Aldrich. And I'm going to keep doing this thing where I click on the extended ones because they seem to know what's up. And again, let me know if the music gets too loud and you can't hear me as well. Because some of these tracks are quieter than the others. Okay, first of all, you are eating my favorite god, and I'm very, well, my second favorite technically behind Velka, but tied. I would say tied. Velka and Gwendolyn are tied. Was it 97? Ooh, ew, gross. It was actually chillier here today. I was very grateful. The clouds moved in. I was very grateful. Where do I put Aldrich? Because everyone knows I put Moonlight Butterfly / Gwendolyn's music at fucking S tier. And it absolutely is, but... Oh, it's hard. Oh, yeah, the tropics are not forgiving. Ah. I don't know where to put Aldrich. It doesn't hit me the same way that the default track would. Obviously. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. But I don't know. Yeah, Aldrich Devourer of Gods is playing right now. I kind of want to make it high A, but I don't know if I'd put it above Wyvern. I'm not gonna lie. I think I would listen to Wyvern. It's meant to be more disconcerting and make you like feel like if it makes you feel tense and upset, it should. If it makes you feel like something's a little bit off, it should. And the concept of the song, I want to give it S tier. It does a really good job of what it's trying to do. But as far as like tracks that I would come back and listen to, because that's really how we're gauging these. It's like, how much do I listen to this track? Let me with the Bagoober. But I don't like listening to it because it upsets me. But it is beautiful. So I'm willing to give it a fairly high A. But I gotta stick it behind Wyvern because I'm gonna listen to Wyvern and feel good about myself. If I listen to Aldrich, I'm just gonna be sad and angry. Alright. I will say this. I've never had help in the fight before. I'm turning it way, way down, so it seems really quiet, that's why. Make that the mid-track so that the other can cheer you up. Love a song that elicits emotions. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think this track does exactly what it sets out to do because you're supposed to be like, oh, fuck, it's Gwendolyn. Oh, the arrows and the moonlight and the... Oh, but that's not Gwendolyn. Oh no, that's messed up. That big, like, blob of ooze is literally devouring, eating him, and controlling his body. Their body, excuse me. We are talking about Dark Souls 3. Yeah, we haven't gotten to Bloodborne yet. We're working on it. We're getting there. I've talked more about these tracks than I expected to, actually. Because I thought I'd be like, awesome, next, but no. Can't help ourselves. But yeah, this song makes me feel gross and icky. This version of the song makes me feel gross and icky because a terrible thing is happening to the last full god in Anne Orlando. Aldrich is a controlling fungus. Basically, he's gross. Super gross. I usually like funguses. Fungi. Not Aldrich. Thing is, it's implied they are still alive trying not to get... Yes, no, absolutely. You can tell that they're not, like, dead in his mouth. Like, they're fighting. They're a fucking god. They're fighting. And I don't know, but because they disappear, I mean, I presume that they expire with Aldrich. I don't know. Gamer plays Hades. Woo! Hades is good. Monster Hunter is good. Cold Lamb is good. You are a gamer. Bruh, I don't care if all you do is play like fucking like Bejeweled or something on your phone. You're a gamer. You're a fucking gamer. You enjoy games, you're a gamer. They were sick, hence Aldrich had an easy time getting. Yeah, they're not. There's clearly something not. You know, Gwendolyn's not as put on a pedestal, quite literally, as the other kids. They got stuff going on. So, I mean, yeah, I always just imagine Pontiff just kind of like tossing, like taking this little chibi Gwendolyn and being like, here you go. Just like basketball hooping it into all the Aldrich coup. Okay, let's move on and talk about Lorien and Lothric, because I have feelings about this fight. Alright? Let's see. Yeah, Aldrich, you're gonna pause now. And we're gonna move on to Lothric and Lorien. I think I've mentioned before that all the hamsters I ever had I named after Dark Souls characters. I had a pair of sisters I named Lothric and Lorien. And funny enough, Lothric ended up being weird and sick her whole life. She had like a pituitary gland issue or something I couldn't do anything about. And so she constantly would like lose her hair on the back end. And Lorien was the stronger of the two, but always let Lothric win. And eventually I had to separate them because they did start fighting after a while. And once Hammies fight, if they draw blood, you have to separate them for the rest of their lives. Even if they were super bonded before. Just random hamster facts during Dark Souls tier lists. You're welcome. Here we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me turn you up a little bit there, buddy. We're even trading. Hey! That's also hardcore gaming. Lishima Goblin Stick. Nice. Yeah, no, it always looked like she was like wearing pantyhose. Because, like, her hair would, like, grow in a little bit. Like, she wouldn't go totally bald. She'd just have, like, a really thin layer. And so it always looked like she had little pantyhose pulled up over her backside. So I thought it was very interesting that Lothric ended up being the sickly one. Like, legitimately from birth. Because she had, like, allergies. And could only have, like, paper bedding. Which I was the only kind I used anyway, so.
She came home with me when she was the size of a cotton ball. Along with her sister, who was a little bit bigger.
Anyway. She was, I won't say she was a sweetie. She was pretty, she was the one who picked all the fights. Lorien was actually the stronger one, but wasn't actually interested in fighting. Sounds like a fucking pair of twins here. Twin-souled princes, Lorien and Lothric. Can I just say that, I love Lorien. Lorien's crown might be my favorite crown in fucking anything, and I absolutely wore the fuck out of that my first playthrough of the game once I got it. I adore it. I don't know, there's something about its design that's really cool. I'll pull it up. It's a really good crown. Let's see, Lorien, crown, Dark Souls 3. We'll bring it over so everybody can see it. Now, I gotta listen to this for a second to decide where I want to put it. Let me know if the music's not loud enough. This one's a little bit quieter. This recording, that is a little quieter. Let's see. Alright, here we go. But, the Elder Prince. Ooh, that's pretty big. Man. Let's get an idea. It's such a cool crown. So it makes me feel nostalgic, like I'm sitting on a balcony. That's kind of how you probably should feel. Gosh, these characters. I could go on a whole lore dump about them. I like them a lot. Let me find a picture of them together. There we go. Perfect. This is the shot that everybody remembers. The strong, almost beastly older brother who actually is kind of falling apart and can't stand all the way anymore. They've been fighting for so long and they keep being brought back by their younger brother to protect them, and younger sickly brother who was supposed to become a Lord of Singular, but is far too sickly and far, you know, not really that powerful, so that their souls are intertwined to make it strong enough. Is that how that works? I forget. Sir? he could be the most vicious villain. He's never done anything wrong in his life. The dialogue in this is, it really is. I feel like this is one of those convos where you're just like, no, I agree with you. And I'm sorry but I'm sorry I have to do this. Like, I do still have to do this to get my Hollows ending. They have it. They cool as fuck. You can love them. Yeah, no, Lorien is quite the fucking hero, actually. They are quite the fucking hero. You learn later in Ring City that they fought the Demon Prince and banished them. They're a fucking badass. Lothric is basically, like, the way they're described is that they are literally wearing swaddling clothes that they have worn since they were born. Oh my gosh, Floki! Hello! Oh my gosh! Hello, hello! Welcome in, everyone. I'm Molly, the curse that lingers over this place, and you have made your way to the haunt. Hang out for freaks, misfits, and other fucking weirdos. How was your stream, Floki? How you doing? What were you up to? We're doing Dark Souls tier lists, music tier lists. Welcome in. Let me get you a proper little shout out here. We're listening to the Twin Princes right now. We're doing Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne tonight.
There we go. How you doing? Welcome. Go follow Floki, the cool guy.
Floki the Bard. I love that name. It was good. Played a bit of Omori. Nice. I need to have a look at that game. I feel like it's one I would enjoy on my own time. I really like this track. Oh, where do we put it? Where do we put the Twin Princes? Where do I put you? I don't know if you're S, but you're definitely A. Yeah, I'm gonna put it just above Wyvern. I really do. This is one of those cases where if we were doing it based on the fights themselves, this would be S tier. I like this fight. I like this fight a lot. But we're just doing music, so it helps. It helps me decide where to put it, but you know. S! It is really good. Should we put it? But here's the thing. If we put it in S, does it beat out Pontiff Sullivan? Oh no, this'll do! I don't know if I can put it above Pontiff Sullivan, which is my only problem. I'm like, at least here it looks like it's a king. Oh, it's a good one. Oh, that's hard. Should we keep Wyvern King of A tier? Right? Like, I don't know if I can put it above Sullivan for the way that it makes me feel. The fight itself, yes, it would be above Sullivan. Absolutely. But the music by itself, I'm more likely to put... my way of deciding this is like, okay, how often do I put this on repeat compared to the other one? Ultimate betrayal. It is a bad betrayal. Like biting the side of your mouth or biting your tongue. It's awful. I hate it. Oh, I don't know. Okay. I'm willing. We're going to make it. We're going to put it in S, but it's going to have to stay below Sullivan. Which feels like kind of a betrayal, but maybe someday I'll do boss tiers. Maybe. I don't know. You guys know, I've been talking for almost 2 hours just about Dark Souls 3 music, so. Ooh, ouchie. Ouchie, ouchie. I hope you don't get a cold sore. Definitely put some, like, salt or something on it. At least that's what I do. I, like, cauterize the spot.
I like you guys very much.
I was actually just telling, you just missed it. I was telling the story about the sisters. I had 2 sister hamsters. I named all my hamsters after Dark Souls characters because I could, when I was living in Japan, I could only keep hamsters. And, yeah, I had a pair of sisters that I actually could keep together for a while, and then they did start fighting and I had to separate them, but, they were named Lothric and Lorien, and Lothric was the sickly one. completely randomly, the smaller one ended up being 5-hour Bloodborne tier list stream. If I did bosses, I would have to devote potentially a whole stream just to one game. Because we would get lore talking. Wasn't it perfect? And Lorien was like stronger than her, but she was the one picking fights. Like, Lorien was my good girl. And funny, like, this is sad, but it's true. They died within like 12 hours of each other. One of them passed away and I was very sad. And then the next morning, the other one had passed away. Even though they didn't even live it. They didn't live in the same containment. They weren't sick. They were just old. They expired together. Just like the fucking twin princes do. It was very just like, oh, wow. It was rough. But at the same time, it was kind of heartening to know they were together, you know, because they were sisters, so... Oh no, one of those stories, Sigamigs. I've heard a few of these. Oh no. Let's see, I had my very first hammy was Ziegward. I had a tiny little robo hamster with big whiskers, big wizard eyebrows, and I named him Ziegward. I had the only not dwarf variety hamster I ever had was Yorm. He was a big guy, big softy with long hair. And I had Lucatiel, who was a biter. Nobody wanted to adopt her because she was too vicious, but she usually didn't bite me. Not very often anyway. So I brought her home. She and Yorm didn't live very long, but that was because they hadn't had a very good start at the place where they had been bred. So, who else did I have adopted? Oh, I had Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn was my first red-eyed hamster. That's how we learned how to sex hamsters. I am autumn flavored right now. I'm about to switch back actually.
Boom. There I am.
I can be autumn flavored. I can also be monochrome flavored. You can also overlap some of them for those that aren't aware. So like if somebody redeems the abyss eyes, but then somebody else redeems, you know, monochrome, I'm prepared for that. The ones that don't overlap, I usually have it listed in the redemption.
Yeah, so I look into the abyss.
Hee. And you want it monochrome? Let's see here. Hang on, no, that's my glitch. There we go. Yeah. Oh, for some reason, OBS went full screen. Hang on. There we go. There we go. Aw, thank you, Fox.
I tried to make them interesting looking.
I mean, Artemisia is the original creator, but I do all the redeems myself, so. All right, we've been listening to the Twin Prince for like that whole fucking time for like 10 minutes. Let us move on. You know what? Let's not do Soul of Cinder next. Let's save Soul of Cinder for... No, I should just get it out of the way, right? What is Secret Betrayal? Let's do Secret Betrayal. I don't even remember what Secret Betrayal is. What is Secret Betrayal? Is it the weird track that plays over the weird ending? Does that make sense? It was composed by Yuka Kitamura. Secret Betrayal. What? When does this play? I don't remember this one at all. That weird ending that... I love how you don't get an achievement for that ending. They're like, y'all done fucked up. You don't get no ending. If you ever do merch, we need a stuffed version of your avatar. Oh, that would be cute. I was talking about the... I do the redeems myself. But the base art for that and the Shrinking Violets are both done by Artemisia. Is this like a weird deleted track that I can't remember? What is this? Thank you for the hydrate. When does this fucking play? I mean, I can already tell you where it's going because I don't listen to it because I don't even remember it. For those that have just come in, the way this works, I don't have a F tier. I don't have a I hate it because I don't think I have any tracks that I feel that way about in a FromSoft game. When does this play? Is it the Dark Fire? That was the other, I was just about to say, is this... Because the vocals suddenly kicked in and I was like, wait. Is this Dark Fire Link? I don't even think I have this on my version of the soundtrack. But yes, what I was saying, so D doesn't mean that it's D tier. It just means I don't listen to it for whatever reason. Even if the song's fine, I just don't listen to it. Like Curse Rotted Grapewood, for example. The intro is kind of neat and spooky, but the rest of it's pretty lackluster. Crystal Sages, there's a part in the middle I like. Rest of it, lackluster. Premonition, it's the intro cutscene. Nobody listens to the intro cutscene. This is a nice track, and I probably would listen to it. You know what I'm gonna do? I don't listen to it. This is the truth because it's not in my copy. But if it came up, I want to put it up here because I would listen to it. I can deal. Actually, let's put it up here. Fuck it. I like this. Screenshot this so I can add the tracks to my reading playlist. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. Since I don't know this track as well, we're going to move on because I don't have a lot to say about it unless we want to ramble about Dark Fire Link, which we can do another time. Did we do Dark Souls 3 Zones? I don't even remember if we did. I think we did. I can't remember much from the Zones tier list night because I don't know why. I just can't. I know I rambled a lot. All right, Soul of Cinder. Here we go. Okay, do you have an extended version to make sure we get all the parts of it? As always, let me know if it gets too loud or too quiet. I do like this beginning part. Also has kind of the feel of the Aldrich version of the Gwendolyn song, but it goes a totally different direction.
I want to be sad, Mom. It's not a phase.
Yeah, raining day, moody song. Okay. First off, I know different people have different opinions about the fight itself. Oh, by the way, I just immediately went into rambling. Where are my fucking manners? Floki, I hope you're de-streaming. Please, please, please take care of yourself. Holy shit. I do this when I'm like, I get talking and then I skip things and then I totally forget part of my spiel. I hope you're, please, if you've raided and run, I hope you're taking care of yourself. Please, please, please. Soul of Cinder. Some people don't like this fight. They just actively don't like this fight. Some people hate this fight. I love it. I'm not really sure what people were wanting. I think it was the ultimate answer, the perfect answer, and I don't know. Could they have designed it slightly differently? Maybe. But I really like the way that it's designed. I appreciate the way that they opted to do this fucking game. Yeah, I was really surprised to find that out, but there are some people who really don't like this fight. They find it lackluster, and I'm like, but the final boss of all Souls games, like, it's always got to be set up in such a way that anybody can beat it, and it's not meant to be more symbolic than it's meant to be difficult. You already beat the game, okay? And if anything, I feel like, I don't know, it is the thing of the end bosses. There it is. We're turning it up. We're cranking it. Like, holy fuck, how can you hate this? Okay, I'll turn it back down a little bit. Bitter and sad and hopeless and horrible and necessary. I think that's what keeps me from completely throwing Gwen in the trash can. Because that's how I see him. Hopeless, sad, doing what is necessary. And the fact that you get to have this moment, and when you realize the moment that you're having, that you're fighting them again, you're like, wait, that means that I just also might have fought the chosen undead. Even if you didn't choose, your chosen undead didn't link the fire, somebody's chosen undead did. Someone's bearer of the curse did. You are potentially fighting all of your previous incarnations. But necessary for the fire, fuck the fire. Teruki and I went on a whole circular thing about how there's like no good answer for this, right? Because we know how bad the dark is. We know how ugly it gets. It's not a better choice, it's just another choice. Of course, Dandelion, enjoy Zelda. Hell yeah. Thank you for the lurk. Like, I guess that's how I've always seen it, is that, like, while I think if I were put in the situation, I might pick Dark just because it is a different choice. At the same time, it doesn't necessarily feel like the right choice. It doesn't feel like the right choice. I feel like after you see, I mean, just seeing what happens to Ulasil alone is like, fuck. Dark can be really bad. It can be really bad for people. But, you know, Dark Souls 3 does finally give you a third option, which is what I pretty much always go for, because I've only beaten it a few times, so I might as well go for the most interesting ending. I'm the same way with Bloodborne. I always go for the most, like, no, we're gonna do all the things. I like this song a lot. I appreciate it a lot. I don't know. Maybe I've been too soft on Gwen. Lots of people have been coming into my chat and being like, man, Gwen's such a shit. And I'm like, but I've never seen him. I've always seen him as like a shit, but not that bad. Like, what would you do in his fucking shoes? Like, and also, he didn't have to burn himself. He was Zeus. Couldn't he have just been like, you, my firstborn, who I have erased from the annals of history, guess how you can save yourself? Go burn yourself. He didn't do that. You know, like, he could have ordered his knights to do it. All of them together? Might have been enough. But I guess the idea is that Gwen's soul is just so mighty that it was like the best hope. Here's the thing that gets me. Gwen's soul is so mighty. He gives out pieces about it. I have to say I've not accounted for Ulasil from a Dark POV. It can be really dumb and dense. No, that's how I always see it, is that Dark won't necessarily equal an Ulasil, but Ulasil is the potential outcome of Dark taking hold, right? Because Dark is part of the Abyss, right? So it kind of, like, you're not... It can also be like, look at Dark Firelink. Dark Firelink is basically, you don't see a bunch of ghoulish, grim grinning ghosts come out to materialize. No, nobody's coming at you. But it just feels very dark and empty and like there's nothing there. It feels too empty. And it's no wonder that someone would eventually go and link the flame again, because they want to fill the world, you know? They want there to be light and life, right? But here's the thing. Gwen's soul, the idea, I'm turning this down again. Gwen's soul is supposed to be so fucking powerful that he can just break off tiny pieces of it and just hand them out like candy, right? That's the idea, anyway. So, ideally, he was hoping that what happens with the Chosen Undead would not need to happen, that they would have figured something else out. He put a backup in place, like, we're gonna need logs to keep this fire going, and we gotta convince people, we gotta get people strong, we gotta convince others that this is the right thing to do. But at the same time, like, that was, I always got the idea that that was supposed to be the backup plan. That his flame would burn for so long that they would have so much of a chance to find a way to stop the dwindling from happening. But they never did. It will always go out. That's part of the cycle. Right? Anyway.
That's my ramble as we come back to Gwen's music again. And we're going to move on to...
Oh god, wait, I didn't even place it. I talked all that time and I didn't even place it. It is A tier. Is it S tier? It's hard to say because it does use music from a previous game, right? I think for me it is. I think for me it is. Where would I put it? Would I put it above Lorien and Lothric? Yeah, I think I would. But that's just my own personal feeling about it. Okay, hang on. Epilogue. Hang on. Before we get to the... Fucking... Oh, whoops, I forgot to put in DS3, so it was like giving me all these different epilogue songs. Woohoo! I think, honestly, I think the Hollows ending is the most unclear and possibly not even a good ending, quote unquote. Like, I feel like, I think I said this last time, I feel like the Hollows ending, when did I say this? I know I've said this on stream. I feel like the Hollows ending is just the start of a new cycle. You just don't know what the other side of it's going to be yet. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There we go. Okay, this is the credits music. Which I have to be honest, I don't remember in the slightest. So this sounds like something I would probably allow to play, but don't have a whole lot of interest in listening. I think this is a much weaker credit sequence than like the other games, but maybe it gets better. I just don't remember it. I just really don't remember it. You know, I've never really thought about it that hard, but the Soul of Cinder armor, hang on, just pull it over here so you guys can see. The Soul of Cinder armor, like, the way it comes up in the back, obviously this could just be the fact that just the idea of like the fire and the melting fire tornado like effect on a helmet. And the front of the helmet does look very Astora, right? It looks very, you know, Chosen of Dead cover guy. Even though the rest of the armor is its own thing. But it also is kind of reminiscent of a crown, I would say. Or even of, like, the wild hair that Gwen had. Just like, I don't know, little pokey bits. I don't know. That was just a random thought I just had while I was sitting here. Yep, I have to say, I was so numb from what the Firekeeper said to remember the credits. Yeah, I don't know. I'm already ready to move on. So this is one of those things where it's like, if it came on, I wouldn't run across the room to turn it off, but, you know, I want us to get into fucking, it's past 10. Let's get into fucking Sister Frida. Hehehe. Alright, we're gonna do... No, I want the whole thing extended, please. Because I want to make sure that... Oh! Okay. This seems really like a really long version, so it must be the full version, question mark? Question mark? I'm now all like... paranoid after we had the earlier thing. I did not like this armor design because it has a face. You know, I don't know if I ever really paid attention to it having a face. I could see that. All right. Here we go. Time for Sister Frida and Father Ariandel. AKA the fight that everyone went, what? What? This is an S tier song. Yeah, there's a lot of S tiers in 3. I just don't know where to put it. It's a really good one. The fight is definitely that for me, Arba. I'm trying to... where do we place this? Let's let it get rolling. Let's let it really get rolling. This is the quiet part.
This is the part where the fight hasn't even really begun yet.
I'll die to her. I mean, don't worry. You can just pick it up anytime and she'll be glad to do that for you. I had a really hard time beating her with my polearm build for some reason. I guess I just I wanted to come at her faster, but really I needed to time where she was gonna land and just swing. I had a harder time. I used to, so back in the day when fucking fucking online was a lot more hoppin' in Dark Souls 3, I used to put my sign down in front of this fight. I think I told this story over and over again while I was just drawing and stuff. And I would just set my drawing aside, and then I'd help somebody with the fight, and then I'd pick my drawing back up again. And that character, I don't know how they've got at least 1 million souls on them. It's kind of ridiculous. Just because I kept doing this fight and the champion grave tender. She's so fast. And when you think it's over, it's not over. When you think it's over, it's not, the first time, you think it's over, but it's not over. But tee-hee-hee, you didn't really think it was over. But then when you really think it's over, you're like, whew, phew. I did it. Why isn't it ending? Why are we... Why is the health bar still there? Wow, this is a full-on version. It's a really great moment, but man, is it frustrating. Blood tears for real. Is this only playing phase 1? I kind of want to get into phase 2. Let's go. Okay, we're just gonna fast forward a little bit because as much as phase 1 is pretty, phase 2 is really where it's at, and we got to think about where it's gonna go. This one and Champion Grave Tender are gonna be kind of hard for me. The other ones will be relatively easy, I think. I think Ring City is gonna be relatively easy for me. I think. And then we'll take a short... Once we're done with this, we'll take a very short break before we get into Bloodborne.
It's about to pop off.
Bitch ain't dead. She coming for you. Oh, where do I put you? The strings are gonna hit. The Kitamura strings are gonna hit. They're coming. Oh, it's so good. Where do I put you? I think I know. I think I know. Goes up here. No! There. There we go. Up here. I don't know if I can put it above Abyss Watchers, but that might just be my own, that might be my feeling about the lore coming into play a little bit, but if anything, I could say these are tied. This is such a good one. All right,
Back to normal.
it's so good. But we're gonna get to a weird one here in a second that I think people forget about, but I actually really love. Everyone forgets about the other boss fight in this fucking DLC, and I'm like, I like that fight. I like that fight a lot. But I mean, I mean, that versus a three fucking phase, like, it really is blood, sweat, and tears. I think I may have cried trying to rebeat Frida at some point. Not like sobbing, but just like, like if I got her all the way down to the end and then like got destroyed. Oh. Oh, Sister Frida. You know who's like a total cool guy that gets kind of ignored in this is her knight. What's his face? Wilhelm? I think it's literally like Wilhelm or something like that. Cause like he's totally like, I am deep-voiced cool guy, much like that dude from Kareem, but I ain't gonna actually do much. Yeah, it's the one that, yeah, it's like you go down the little drop past all the ice crabs, and, it's the, there's a grave there. Yeah, his dialogue is really cool, but it's not that hard. I mean, he's not any harder than other NPC cool guys that sneak up on you, right? Okay, let's see here. All right, we did Sister Frida. Let's do Champion Grave Tender. Oh, bless you. The cat just sneezed into the microphone. You're all welcome. Yeah, I like the Champion Grave Tender because I don't know, like people are like, oh yeah, whatever. It's like a shout out to like Artorias' grave or whatever. And it's like I think it is Artorias' grave. At least it might be, question mark. It has the flowers on it, doesn't it? I can't remember. It's been a while. And we ain't there yet in my current playthrough. Bless cat. I really like this fight. And how the fight isn't so much against the Grave Tender, but more like... Okay, first of all, the Grave Tender has a bunch of wolfies that are just there to be like, hey, what's up? We guard this place too. And then the big wolfie shows up. Bigger than any wolfie you have ever faced. Even Sif, arguably. I think they're bigger than Sif. So, I don't know. That doesn't make them cooler than Sif. I just think they're very neat. So for me, Champion Grave Tender is going to be... For me, it's S. I think. The Phase 1 is not as interesting as Phase 2. I will give it that. But I like it. Yeah, everyone they love Frida's fight so much, they kind of ignore this one. I think it's actually pretty neat. And it would make sense if they eventually pushed Artorias' grave into the painting, because you don't want people to find it, right? You don't want people getting that ring and yada yada yada. I mean, like, you don't want people seeking that stuff. It would make sense. Where am I gonna put you? Because I really like to listen to this song a lot. Yes, objectively, maybe it's not as good of a song as, like, one of these up here. But I don't care. This isn't about being objective.
This is my completely subjective list. This is my completely and utterly subjective list.
Oh, you're gonna replay this part. Okay, hang on. Let's fast forward it a little bit. Let's get to the really cool part. I like the champion. You get the Champion Grave Tender just gives you his stuff when you defeat him. You don't have to, like, take a soul in or anything like that. Here we go. We're building towards it. We're about to call in the big wolf. Yeah, I don't know. I really like this fight. Yeah, this wolf is at least as big as Sif, if not bigger. I mean... that's gotta be at least Sif-sized. Hang on. Come here. Like, at minimum. But in this pose, I feel like they actually look a little smaller than they actually feel when you're fighting them. I love fighting this wolf. It's so dynamic and fun. Oh, here comes my favorite part. I'm cranking it. Oh yeah, it's absolutely Frida's fault. I have a lot of fun in this fight. I just, that part with the strings, like going real quick, like I always imagine the, like, slipping the fucking wolf is slipping and sliding all around on the ice, and you're slipping and sliding trying to avoid it, and it's trying to chomp you, and it's doing its fucking, like, snow wind power, and I don't know, it's really fun. It's really fun, and it makes me sad that it's forgettable. Weird thing is, in our playthrough, I was the only one who found this boss. None of my friends went there. It's completely missable if you decide not to explore down the ice. Absolutely. Here it comes again. Just imagine that giant wolf, like, literally, like, the wind is moving with the wolf. The wolf is controlling the fucking weather in this arena. This violin is low bolo. This is another reason why I'm like, oh my god, dude, no. I love this track so much. I listen to it more than I listen to Frida's. There, I said it. Because of that part. Because of that part. It just is too good. Again, objectively, are some of these other compositions more dynamic, more interesting? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would say yeah. But as far as how often do I listen to the track? Grave Tender's up there. I don't know if I can put it any lower. Could I put it back here? I listen to it all the time. I don't know if I can put it behind Frida. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. Like Dancer, I would be willing to bump down only because I don't listen to it as much, but it's too strong for me. It's too strong of a track. Okay. We got to move on to Ring City stuff. Everybody sighs. Everybody sighs heavily. All right. Can I just say that out of all of these tracks, I kind of, sort of, maybe remember Gale and Medear's, but I don't know. I feel like Gale's I should remember, and I will remember when I start listening to it, but I never put it on. Demon Prince, come to me. This is a good track. I remember this. But I can't, like, just bring it up in my memory. Okay, let's put it here so we remember we're talking about it. And I kind of like the Demon Prince fight, honestly. It's a neat little thing. I like the idea that there's, you know, some demons that have been separated out from their brethren who are living way down there. That. Sorry, I was talking over it. That noise. Woo! It's good. did this one? It's a good drop. Who did this one? I can't remember. I lost track. I think Kitamura did. Hang on. Because I was like talking about that and then I lost that because I wasn't staring at the main list anymore. So let me bring up the main listing again. So I can, there we go. No. Yeah, this is a track I should listen to more. I feel like this is like the Secret Betrayal song. It's like, why do I not think of this track? This is really good. Honestly. Oh, there it is. Okay, so let me see here. I kind of stopped talking about things earlier. So, Osaros and Wyvern were done by Kitamura. Nameless King was Sakuraba. That's about where I dropped off. Kitamura did both Abyss Watchers and Yoram the Giant, that I adore. Sakuraba, of course, did the Aldrich one because it was his original composition that was being used. Kitamura did the Twin Princes. She also did Soul of Cinder, Secret Betrayal, and the credit sequence. So yeah, she powerful. She powerful. Let's see. Let me check the DLC composers. And this track sounds like it's a track for fucking Demon Prince. I like this more than Nameless King, I'm gonna say it. I might like it even more than Dragon Slayer Armor. But I'll kind of tie it with Dragon Slayer Armor. Honestly, Gundyr, I might bump you down a little. I like you a lot, but I think I'm more likely to listen to these guys. Let's see here. Let's see. Yes, that's all very nice. Who composed the music? Maybe here? Solo singer Quinn doing a musical before the fire fades. I would love a Dark Souls musical. I fucking hate musicals. I would watch a Dark Souls one. I cannot... Hang on. Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, Kitamura did Frida's music. I was trying to check to see if she did Champion Gravetender too, or if that was somebody else. Nope, she did Champion Gravetender as well. Figures. I mean, I thought so because of the fucking violin, but wanted to check. Now, who did Ring City? Did she do it too? She did Gale's music. She did Midir's music. She did Half-Flight's music, so yep, she did Demon Prince. So Yuka Kitamura did all of the OST music. All of the OST music. All the DLC OST music. So cool. Like Knights of the Zodiac 3D movie where Deathmatch really does a musical with all the dead bodies of the people he killed. Oh my gosh. I really like this. I should listen to this one more. Why don't I? Alright. Let's move on. Who's next? Is Half-Light really next? Okay. Let me spin this one. So we have it ready. Where's Half-Light? Half-Light's one of those fights I wish I enjoyed more. I like the concept of it. Because it's all, you know, like the old monk or whatever fight. Which I guess was Miyazaki's favorite fucking boss they ever did. And that's why he wanted to do one more like it. That's what I heard anyway. By the way, if you didn't know, a little trivia factoid for you. If you run into the Half-Light fight and try to run up to the Judicator guy in the back, he will murder you outright, and the fight is over, and you must start again from the bonfire. If you get too close to him right at the beginning, he will just murder you outright. Like, Half-Light wouldn't, the whole Half-Light thing like, won't even start. Like, the fucking, like, boss bar doesn't even appear. Like, it's that fast. Sorry, I think I just bumped the mic. I found that out by accident the last time. It was a couple years ago, the last time I did that fight. And, but it stuck with me. Because I don't even know if I was trying to run at him to see if I could swing on him, or if I just ran up to him like, yeah, hurry up, do your thing, let's go. And he just murdered me. I was just done. Because I really like the organ here. Let me turn it up. I do like the organ here. Spear of the church. Where are we going to put you? I am a sucker for organ music. Saros, I kind of want to bring you down. I'm not going to lie. I almost want to make you king of B tier since I don't listen to you as much. It's a hard call, but maybe Spear of the Church can be king of B tier? Because I can't give you a passing grade just for the organ music. It's kind of like Crystal Sages. Love the middle. Everything else is meh. Like, this isn't getting me hype. The organ music is cool, but it's just not really doing it for me. Man, remember the fucking network test shit for this?
People were hype.
I know, this is one of those songs where I'm like, it's been going for 2 minutes and 40 seconds and like, not enough has happened. And I don't even mind a slow burn if it's a good slow burn. I think this is a good song. I just don't know if I have the patience to get to the good parts. Let's fast forward. Let's see what it does. Let's get to the bombastic part. Alright, hang on. Whoop, that was a faster, like, fade than I wanted. I'm gonna listen to Oseros again for just a second. Hang on, we gotta listen. This is one of those things where I gotta listen to the other one. Yes, the intro is very strong, but let's get further in. Further in. Yeah, no, you get to be king of B tier, Half-Light, Spear of the Church, because I really love that organ part. I actually like some of the other parts as well. I'd be kind of willing to put you up here. No, not Secret Betrayal. Stop that. Secret Betrayal. Where'd you... Half-Light? Where'd you go? Spear of the Church, what are you doing? Wait. Secret Betrayal was here. How did you do that? Half-Light's trying to get me, guys. Trying to get me. It's just, I don't know, something about it's not quite hitting for me. I think I would totally listen to this. I just don't know if it's that as strong as, say, the Demon Prince. It's definitely stronger than Deacons for me. I like Deacons and I like Vort. But, Should we move up Firelink? Hard to say. I actually do tend to, unlike Dark Souls 1, I do tend to listen to not the Firelink music more often. Okay, let's see here. I already pulled at Madeir. This is one of those cases where I think I like the fight more than the music. I think I like the fight more than the music. But this intro is so good. Hate the fight, hate the music, hate the dragon. Madeir is rough, man. I don't even know if I got around to beating Madeir the last time I did Ring City. I think I saved Madeir for last, and I just never got around to doing it. I've definitely done it with help, but I don't know if I've ever... I actually don't know if I've ever soloed Madeir, which is a weird thing to say, because generally with Souls games, the first time through, I always solo the bosses. But I feel like Dark Souls 3 DLC was the first time that I was like... I was getting sick of getting things to magic pixels and dying, and I think I finally started calling people in. Madeir is another one though, so like... I think it was Oddly was saying earlier how like Dark Souls 3 did so much stuff, and yet it is just kind of there. You know? Madeir is one of those things. Like, Madeir should really be something very cool, very... Like, we should have lots more lore on them. Like, clearly they're important because, I'm sorry, this is a dragon that presumably Gwyn himself let live. That's what I take away. Because Madeir was a friend to the Ring City, and the Ring City was for the pygmies, right? And all of the things that Gwyn did with the Ring City was to protect them / keep them over there. I don't know. It's really unclear. Ring City lore is kind of hard to understand. Madeir feels like a Monster Hunter dragon. It's a fight that can take an hour. You know, that's a good way of putting it. I think that's why he feels like so rough solo compared... Like, I don't bat an eyelash having to go in and solo Kalameet, no matter how many times Kalameet might whoop my butt. Same with Sin. It doesn't matter how many times they might whoop me. I don't bat an eyelash. I really don't. But Madeir is just kind of like... It feels like such an endurance test. Yeah. And I don't even know... It's hard to say if they're even necessarily the strongest of the bunch, but they're definitely... Like, I'm not going to argue which dragon's stronger, because they all have different things going on, right? I wish you guys could have just seen this just now while we're over here listening to this incredibly epic track. The cat had fallen asleep with his head pressed into the side of my kneecap, and just now, very slowly, it like slid onto the bed. He woke up like, huh? Huh? What?
Hey, baby. How you doing?
I really like the idea of a dragon spewing dark. I think that was a new concept, you know? I hope Cat synced to the music almost. Yeah, this is one of those things where, like, I just never think about this music. Even though the fight sticks with you. Like... This part, I really like this little part. It's almost call and response, the way it echoes. It's an alright track. But I don't think I can put it above here just because... I think it's just gonna sit here because, yeah, I never think to put it on. I won't put it in Can Deal. I don't think I'd bump it down to Can Deal. But I'm willing to give it bottom of B, because most of the time I never think to even put it on, but I have let it play, and it's a strong It's a strong track, but I think because it's just like the fight itself. It reflects the fight, right? The fight is a endurance test, and this composition is an endurance test because the bombast never stops. It never slows down. Like it never. I can't. Okay, I got turned on. All right, we're getting there. All right. Oops, sorry. I was trying to fade it out, but it just...
I hit enter, and it just jumped.
Okay, are y'all ready? Final track! It's almost taken me 3 hours to get through Dark Souls 3. This is ridiculous. That's alright. I like talking about this stuff. As long as you guys like to hear it, I'm gonna keep talking. Hell, even if I was here by myself, I would probably just keep talking. Alright. I really gotta listen to this one, because I don't know where to fucking put this track. I don't actually usually listen to it. Which I know for some people is total blasphemy, but... I always think of Gale kind of like Madeir, like it's a very strong fight, but I never think about the music. But I don't know if I've done the fight enough times, because I've said before, I've only actually beaten Dark Souls 3 like maybe twice all the way through, including DLC. And then the other runs were all kind of left somewhat unfinished, or like I beat the final boss, but then I didn't necessarily beat all the DLC fights or something. I'm trying to do them all for the run we're doing on stream. But as a pyro, I am definitely going to be relying on calling people in to help me, because fuck the presentation for this fight and the lore, but can't absorb the music. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I find the music hard to absorb. So I'm trying to absorb it right now as I'm talking, but... Bum, 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 bum. I like that. It's a different kind of strings moment than we usually have in a Souls game, yeah? It's a different note than we usually hit. Sorry. Staring at a cute cat while I'm listening to this. I feel like maybe Madeir and Gale are both fights that I've never done alone. I've done Frida alone, I've done the Grave Tender alone, I think I've done Demon Prince alone, although that might be a lie. I may have done NPCs for Demon Prince for the sake of side quests. If it matters, I don't even know if it matters. I can't remember. I think I've done Half-Light by myself. But I don't think I've done Madeir or Gale by myself. I very specifically remember the first time I fought Gale, I called in some Warrior of Sunlight guy, just some cool guy. Cool burly dude. And the other guy I called in was Trusty Patches, a cosplayer. Is somebody fucking role-playing Patches? And I just remember as he zoned it was like, oh yeah, no, he went the full mile. He immediately the Warrior of Sunlight. Snake, hello! I was just telling a funny story about the first time I fought Gale and called people in. So the Warrior of Sunlight guy goes into the curl up emote like, oh god, it's Patches! And the guy cosplaying Patches just went into the squat, like right in his face like, hi, what's up? How you doing, Snack? It was really funny. And then we went and we beat Gale in the first try. It was great. They were super powerful. I loved them. I felt like such a potato. I did my best, but man... This part, I like the phase 2 sounds better to me than phase 1. For sure. I like that piano. I like that they looked to the piano one more time to be a quote-unquote final boss sound, you know? Because technically piano's used in DS2 too, right? But we won't talk about that, no spoilers, because next year. Yay, how you doing? I already asked you that. You're doing fantastic? Good. I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit so I can hear myself think, because I know it's not quite as loud for you guys because of the way I have things set in OBS, but... Oh, this is gonna be hard because I just don't listen to this track, but it is a pretty strong track. I can tell. I know Tedriki's gonna is already gonna come and beat me down. For whatever it was. I said something earlier and I was like, fight me. I can't remember what it was. They're already gonna track me down. I don't believe so. I basically do everything DS1 before playing it. Yeah, I had kind of a similar thing where I kind of knew where things were going in most, if not all, of the games before I played them. Save Night Gale. Where to put you, Gale? I don't fucking know. This is a strong composition. But as far as Tedriki's gonna fucking kill me, but I would even put it this high up, potentially even over Soul of Cinder. But I don't know. Because one of the things that makes Soul of Cinder strong is also technically kind of a thing against it in the sense of you might not put it on because you've already listened to Gwen's thing, right? So I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to do this because this is a really strong composition regardless of how often I listen to it. Kind of like Dancer. I love Dancer's track even if I don't always listen to it. I can't put her below, these guys. Man, I should try to... Okay, I'm not saying I'm gonna solo Gale, period, but I should actually, because the run to him is not that bad, it's pretty straightforward, I should try to throw myself at him by myself. So I can get a better sense of the patterns and stuff. I'm just thinking out loud right now, because we are getting to the point in our run on stream where we're gonna start thinking about doing DLC. We're getting there. So, and actually I don't know where I want to do the DLC exactly. I'm gonna be honest, because they're tough DLCs. So I always kind of save them for last, and then use Soul of Cinder as my victory lap, usually. So, but, yeah, I don't know. DLC is where the unnamed king... No! Actually, that is a regular zone that just requires a special emote to get to, and then you have to pull a particular level to ring a bell, and you can fight him. And even then, you can still leave the area. Even if you don't beat them, they're completely optional. DLC, so Ariandel is Sister Frida and the Champion Gravetender. And then Ring City has a lot more. It's a bigger one. Demon Prince, Madir, Half-Light, the Spear of the Church, and Gale. Yeah, Madir is the DLC dragon. Yeah. I'm thinking about it. All of the big dragon fights are in DLCs. Like the big quote-unquote proper dragon fights. I'm gonna turn this down a little because I can't hear myself think. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, this is a really strong composition. I just never listened to it. We're gonna let it play through the end. It's got about a minute left. Because then I will take a very short voice break. And then apparently, so I did not expect to talk this long about Dark Souls 3 music. Considering that Dark Souls 3 is not my favorite of the bunch, but the music is really good.